Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. I hope this is finding you and yours doing well. My name is Petrilli. I'm here with my friends at Fishman for a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. Today's episode is pre-recorded, but don't worry, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Truly one of my favorite songs, Turn the Page, by Bob Seger. We're gonna do an acoustic version of it today. It'll be a lot of fun. So have your acoustic guitar, go ahead and put it in standard tuning. As always, you guys are enjoying the lessons, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Really does help the cause. Clicking the thumbs up button and the notifications button, all of that really helps me out a ton. And if you wanna check out all the cool Fishman gear that I use in these lessons, including the RS Spectrum DI that I use all the time at every single one of my acoustic gigs, you can go ahead and click the link in the video description below. And while you're at it, you can join my Patreon page. It started a couple months ago and it's been an absolute blast getting to know so many of you. So join the Patreon group, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, before we get started, you guys know I like to ask questions, so please let me know where you are tuning in from and how about your favorite Bob Seger song? I wanna know. Put it in the comments. Again, acoustic guitar, standard tuning. Let's go ahead and have some fun today. So here is Turn the Page by Bob Seger. It's a song that builds. I love the dynamics, I love the words, I love the vibe, and yes, I'm gonna show you guys how to play the saxophone intro and outro on the acoustic guitar. Don't worry, can't play this song without playing that somewhere, so we're gonna be doing that too. I'll teach it towards the end of the lesson, but let's go ahead and get started. So, as you can tell, we're doing some arpeggios, of partials of the chords, right? So, the chords that we are playing, okay, for that intro, it's gonna be an E minor, a D major, and an A. All right, so those of you may think, I'm not quite ready to play the arpeggios yet, don't worry, strum along, okay? It's gonna sound just as great if you play the chords, all right? You can play guitar, I'm here to remind you of that. So let's go ahead and look at the top. So we've got an E minor here, and how we are going to play it, okay, just like this, second finger, second fret of the A string is gonna be our B note, and then our third finger is on the second fret of the D string, which is E. So, what we're gonna do here is we're actually playing the E5, okay? We are arpeggiating only the E's and the B's, okay? So we've got, that's our little picking pattern there. So low E string, a little bit of a rest, okay? Then we're gonna go to that B note, then back to the E, just like that, so. Now, I'm choosing to hybrid pick this, meaning that D string I'm striking upward with my second finger. That's what's comfortable for me, but if you want to do an upstroke with the pick, totally fine too. Okay, up to you. For the second pass, just play it a little faster, okay? We'll keep it easy. That's all we're doing for that E minor, the E5, right? That's our pattern, okay? So now we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to this D chord. Now, it sounds, sometimes I play it one way and then it kind of varies. There's some variations here. But for the most part, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use our first finger and our third finger, okay, to play this chord. So first finger, we're gonna place that on A, the second fret of the G string. Third finger, third fret of the B string, which is D. Now we have that open D string here too, okay? However, we're not gonna play this B string. I want you to keep it there just as like kind of an anchor, okay? And to remind ourselves we're playing a type of D chord here. So what we've got is, I want you to play the open D string, okay, just like that, to the 2nd fret of that G string, which is A. From there, we're going to play the low A string. Okay? To the best of my ear and listening to this live version, pretty sure this is what's happening. Okay? So that's what I'm hearing there. So let's go ahead and play that nice and slowly together. Just like that. Now, let's go ahead and combine it with the E5. E5. D. E5. So that's what's happening there. Now, I'm just going ahead of myself here. We're going to play the A chord next. What we're going to do, again, it's going to be an A5, 2nd finger, 3rd finger. Okay, what you're going to do here, 2nd finger, okay, 2nd fret of the D string, that's E, and then your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, which is A. So we have the open A string. We're playing the E note and the A note, so an A5. Just like that. So what we've got here, strike the open A string, 2nd fret D string, 2nd fret G string. Just like that, okay? Let's play this a couple times very slowly here. Just like that, all right? Let's combine, okay, all 3 chords so far. So the progression in the entire verse, it's going to be E minor, that E5, to D, okay, to A, A5, okay, back to that E minor, and us who are arpeggiating, okay, we're doing the E5, okay, so E minor, if you're playing the chords, E minor, D, A, E minor, okay. Let's go ahead and play this together, shall we? We're going to arpeggiate it. D, okay, to A, E minor, okay. If you choose to strum this, okay, they don't do this on the album. If you choose to strum it, it would sound like this. So you'd play an E minor, and we're in the verse. D, to A, back to that E minor. Let's do that again. E minor, to D, to A, to E minor. And I encourage you, listen to the song live, okay? Feel the rhythm of this and kind of see where those beats are hitting, and then think, you're a rhythm acoustic player. Where's your pocket, okay? How are you gonna lift the band, all that stuff. So think about that when you're going, you're playing along to this Bob Seger classic. Really, really great stuff. Also, something to mention here too, if you wanted to, say, use a looper, use the chords, okay? And then on top of the loop, throw in your arpeggio stuff. Kind of neat. All right, so that's what's happening there. So as far as the chorus, okay, that comes in at the 59-second mark, it's going to sound like this. As far as the chords go, goes from D to E minor, D to E minor, D to A, C to D to E minor, leading into verse 2, okay? So that's what's happening there. As far as the picking pattern goes with those chords, exactly the same as we did in the verses, all right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna call out the chords, okay? I'm gonna play it nice and slowly so you guys can join along. And again, if you guys are enjoying the lessons, please be sure to click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Really, really does help the cause a lot. All right, so starting off the chorus, okay, at the 59-second mark, it's gonna be that D major chord. So here you go. E minor, D, E minor, D, A, now we're going to go to that C chord, all right? So what we're going to do here is we're not going to play the full, okay, if we're doing these arpeggios and all that stuff, right? We can go ahead and leave that first finger out of the way. We're not going to need this high C, but we will need these other notes. So third finger on the third fret of the A string, it's going to be C, and your second finger on the second fret of the D string, which is going to be E, all right? So what we're going to do here, and again, this is what it sounds like to me, again, to the best of my ear when I was listening to this, what we're going to do is we are going to play this E note and G note at the same time. So I am choosing to hybrid pick this, meaning my pick is on the E note, and my second finger is plucking upward on that G. Now, if you want to just use your pick and strum, you can do that too, whatever's comfortable for you. For me, I'm a big fan of hybrid picking. Those of you who've been watching these lessons over the last couple of years, I'm a fan of playing that way. So we've got, okay, striking the E and the G note. Then we're going to go to our C note to G, okay? So that's going to sound like this, all of those notes. Let's do that again nice and slowly. Once more. From there, play the full G or C triad. C, E, G. Okay, 1, 3, 5. There they are. Just like that. Let's do that nice and slowly here. Let's do it again. Once more. Now we're going to go to D. So what we're going to do here, strike the open D string with this A note, second fret G string, then play the A, or I'm sorry, open D string to the A. So then we include the open A string. Let's do that again. And again. So now, let's go ahead and do it with the C, D, to our E minor. Let's go ahead and do that whole chorus. Again, thumbs up button if you guys are enjoying the lesson. Here we go. A, C, let's do that again. Chorus, D, Now, if you want to hear how that is strummed, again, the chords are D to E minor, D to E minor, D to A, C to D to E minor. So if you want to strum the chorus, sounds like this. Do that again. I'll call out the chords. D major, E minor, D major, E minor, D major, to A major, C major, D major, E minor. Let's do that one more time without the commentary. Here we go. D. So from there, we go into a verse 2, into a chorus 2, and then we go into a verse 3. So what happens here, so those chords, okay, so those are going through, right? We're singing that third verse to A major. So when we hit that last E minor, right, that finishes the first phrase of the third verse, we have the, okay, the sax riff. So, and it's just a little whisper of it. So with this last part of this lesson, let me go ahead and show you how to play those. So these riffs are really, or this line rather, is really, really beautiful. We see it at the top, we see it in the middle, and then we see it at the end of the song. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna break it down for the intro, and then that middle riff that we have in verse 3, and then the outro. The intro and the outro are the same. All right, so what we're gonna do here is, let's go ahead and start from the top. I'm gonna break it up into two different parts. So we've got, really cool. So let's look at the first part. And again, on acoustic guitar, okay? Supposed to be on a saxophone, but figured why not? This would be kind of cool for us. So we've got the G note here at the 8th fret of the B string. Okay? You are going to pull off with your first finger landing on the F sharp 7th fret B string. Okay? And if you want to give it a little sustain, a little bit of a wiggle, totally fine too. Okay? Those last 3 notes there, we're going to go to the 7th fret of the G string, D note, to our A note, 7th fret of the D string, hammering onto the B note, 9th fret of that D string. Okay? So here it is without the commentary. The first half of the lick. We're going to do this a couple times here. Once more. Now, these series of notes, they don't just live here. They live in other places. So I encourage you, if you want to try one that's maybe a little bit higher, like the guys in Metallica, right, for their cover version of this, I encourage you. G and F sharp, these notes, they live in other places. So I encourage you, find this riff, and then go find it in a couple other places on the fretboard. Really helps with your note knowledge and fretboard knowledge and all of that good stuff. It's really great. So that's the first part. Now, for part 2, we're going to play that again. Now we're just going to add a couple more notes to this. All right, so what we're going to do here, so we do part 1 again. Now we're going to go backwards. We're going to start descending. So we're going to go to the 7th fret of the D string, which is A, to the 5th fret, okay, which is G. Okay, we're staying on that D string. From there, going back to F sharp, 4th fret of the D string. Okay. Using our 2nd finger to play the 5th fret of the A string, D note. First finger plays A, 5th fret of the E string. Okay, and then maybe not as aggressively as I just did there. If it were me, I'd probably slide, okay? Or a very light hammer on to that B note, 7th fret of the E string. Or, I don't know. I feel like the slide is maybe more in the spirit of the saxophone, so I will leave it up to you. So let's go ahead and play our intro, outro, okay? So both of those parts, here we go, nice and slowly. And we're gonna do this a couple times. Part 2. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, good stuff. So let's go ahead and do it again. So just like that. So that's our intro and outro. Now, going back, okay, a few moments ago where we were in verse 3, right? And we're strumming along or using those arpeggios. Okay, so we're just gonna go through one bit of this 3rd verse to give you context. It sounds like this when you apply the saxophone. continue on for that next half of the third verse. And we'll go ahead and strum it this time. D major. And again, nice and light here, we're building dynamics, especially since we're playing this solo acoustic. Now here comes that chorus. Let's now give it a little more gas with the strumming. D major. Second chorus. Outro together. Here we go. So it's good stuff. Again, transposed to guitar, but I encourage you, find that riff in other places and feel free to use a looper or invite a friend to play guitar. Music is awesome, so if you could share it with someone else, really, it's a lovely thing to do. It's a lovely thing to do and to share with someone else. So let's go ahead here, since we have a few more moments. Let's run through, okay, the arpeggiated part, and then we'll kind of go back and forth, and I'll let you know when we're strumming, when we're doing those arpeggios. So here we go, from the top. Let's go to that chorus. Let's strum it. Chorus. So there you have it, an acoustic version of Turn the Page. Thank you all who have requested this one and have sent a message over to the team about playing this one. It's such a beautiful song. As always, wishing you so much success in your musical journeys. Be well, have a lot of fun, and we'll